Just give me a nod that you're good. All right. Go ahead with questions, man.
How ready is this team to play at home?
We're ready. Been on the road, obviously, 4 straight weeks, and there's pros and cons to that, of course. You see one of the pros that we're waiting for a scoreboard back here, so it's a nice road. Twice the size of the last one, and full resolution. It's going to be good for the fans, so it's be good to be back in this environment, and obviously we missed out. It was good. We learned a lot about our team on the road, but it'd be nice to be back here in front of a full packed house.
Is it going to work?
Yeah, it was on before you guys showed up. Don't worry.
There you go.
Yeah.
Do you feel like getting at home can give your team some confidence in terms of just like, hey, the surroundings and knowing that the crowd's for them and everything else that comes along with that?
Yeah, I think so. Like everything, sometimes it's easier to play on the road, sometimes it's easier to play at home. It could just depend on what your mindset's at. But I think the teams, or I know the teams itching to get back home. We've had a really tough road schedule, and we played in front of some really big environments. We know we had to get ready for that, in terms of getting ready for the Big Ten. And kind of all our pieces that we had to move around this year, it was good to get them used to those scenarios and being able to connect a little bit more on the road. Sometimes a little bit less distractions when you go on the road. But we're happy to be back home, and of course it's always great to have the crowd here. I always enjoy it. It's one of the most electric places I've been to when this place is rock and rolling. So buy your tickets, come on out, support us. We'd love to see you out there.
How do you assess the good and the bad in the first 10 matches?
Like everything, you got to look at it, kind of with the, you're going to have some good things that you really see, and you have some bad things that you really see, and you're trying to fix the stuff that can really, turn a few easy points. I mean, we talk about, we're 10 points away from having a different record right now, a distinct different record. Change doesn't happen overnight, so we do know that as well. Obviously, we address it as best we can. We work on it as much as we can in practice, but sometimes the only time to work on it is when you're in that pressured environment and playing for something that's real. And I might give them as much accountability training, as we like to call it, as they want, or as they need. But sometimes it doesn't matter if I have you do 5 more push-ups or whatever. It's about being able to let loose and let it rip, and that's what we've been talking about over the course of the last several days, where it's just like, hey, we can't play with fear out there. If they want to do well, they want to win bad. Nobody isn't in that boat, but they got to figure out how to let loose and play for one another and play for Illinois.
Big Ten anyway does nothing but pretty much help your resume as a whole. But do you feel like you're in a bit of a hole at 5-5? Ole Miss was a good win.
No, I think all the teams that we played, I truly believe either going to win their conference or come very close to that. And so that becomes a big deal when you're talking RPIs and at the end of the year. Those teams will all be 20-win teams in some way, shape, or form. And just how the RPI formula works, we're still going to do well in conference. It's not like we can be 10-10 in conference and hope that that 500 record is good enough to get us by. We still have to do better than 500, and hopefully we can do way better than that. We're still looking at it one day at a time. I don't look too far ahead. Our matchups on Friday against Maryland, and the day after that, Saturday against Northwestern. That's the 2 biggest matches that we're focused on besides practice. That's 2019 was something similar. We finished 16-13 in conference, or 16-13 overall. We had a tough conference record. We came out at 5 non-conference. Came out at 5-4 and finished 16-13. Still made the tournament and almost knocked off a good Utah team. So it's about the end of the journey for us and making sure that we're prepped as best as we can. Obviously, we got to do our job in between there and making sure that we're coming ready to play on Friday.
Is there something just maybe missing in those first 10 matches where you said maybe that could have given you those 10 points?
No, I think, like I mentioned, it's just a little bit of the inexperience of players in maybe different positions, different roles. They got to get used to that. And, again, the schedule is meant to challenge that and make sure you're playing against good competition, that you're able to work those things out in those big moments in their respective arenas. And I thought we played a hell of a match against Marquette. We just couldn't turn a few extra points there at the end. If it's one thing, we'd be working on one thing, but it's a couple different things that just have to be pieced together, and they have to have those communication, have that communication that matters. They have to be able to feel confident at their serves. It's just kind of like I said, we got to learn a little bit more to let it rip and have that more free feeling as opposed to that tight. Like I know they really want it, but there's that fine line of wanting it too bad and not being able to perform versus, hey, I'm ready to get after it, and whatever happens, and knowing that my teammates got my back. And so I think if I have to pinpoint one thing, it's more that than anything. But I've seen great volleyball. I've seen us play really good volleyball, a lot of different streaks, and we just have to put a few more of those streaks together and stem some of those streaks that the other teams are putting on us.
It's on the man on the front kind of challenge to that inning. Obviously, the best blocker in the
Yeah,
country.
yeah, best. They got a really great blocking team. That group, both the groups that we're going to play this weekend, they are a bit more experienced in terms of that grouping of players has been on the court with each other for the last several years. And as you've seen with our team last several years, that matters. It matters to have that game experience. So we're trying to fight that. We're trying to find that ourselves right now. We only get that by being in those environments and playing against the good teams, having wins against the good teams. This year, I think I've said it at the beginning of the year too. This year, more than any of the Big Ten's as deep as it's ever been. I mean, it always is, but this year, it's 1 through 14 is going to have a shot at winning any single night. We all did our job non-conference wise, and so it's going to be a great year. Fun ride as it always is, and like I said, we just hope to come out where we want to be.
With the Big Ten being that deep, how important is it to get those first 2 wins this weekend?
It's important to get all of them. So, I mean, it's you have to obviously win the ones you're at home. Away, it doesn't matter. Last year, home record wasn't as good as our away record, but it doesn't matter. It's about getting the win whenever you can. So, whether it's Maryland Northwestern this weekend, or it's Purdue, Wisconsin, whoever ends up coming afterwards, every match is equally as important. And obviously, you got to finish above a certain record to be tournament eligible, but it's one game at a time mentality. First matchups in the Friday.
Did you learn anything specific about your team in this preseason that you didn't already know about them?
No, I knew it was going to be a little bit of a challenge to get everyone to gel together, and I think right now, again, we're kind of just fighting. The team really wants it bad, and they want to do well, and they want to win. And every team wants to win. It comes a psychological line with that, where you got to kind of push over that barrier and have some of those tough moments, and being able to make some big plays and some big moments, which we've done for sure. We just have to do it more consistently, and we have to eliminate some of the more simple areas that can make them. We're getting there. I like what we're seeing a lot. We've played some tough opponents. We've played them really well. So looking forward to playing a couple more this weekend and doing our best we can.
Do you think the tough schedule you had helps you prepare for the Big Ten any more than it would have if you didn't have such a tough schedule?
Yeah, we need to schedule tough. Every team that we face is going to be, like I said, at the top of their conference, whether they're a Power 5 conference that we just played or a mid-major. They're all good teams, and they're all their schedule exactly off the top of my head. 7 teams made the tournament last year, or close to making the tournament. And so I think it was a really good schedule and a really tough environment. I wish we had a couple more wins coming out of it, but it is what it is. We got to keep fighting to improve, and that's pretty much what the goal is every single day. Good. Thanks.